Theater is the writer's medium. The Dramatist Guild contract explains that very clearly. It's the last refuge of the word. Television is the producer's medium. And film is certainly the director's medium. You've worked with some of the greatest directors in the history of film, and I'd like a comment or two from you on each of them.
Should I give you a list?
I have it right here.
You sure?
Yeah. Anybody I don't have, and there's a guy on there on your list, I can see it from here, named Barry, you can bring in on your own. But the rest I have. Stanley Kubrick.
A gift. And if you haven't seen Lolita, go to it. He got a performance. See, I think the actor creates most of it. And I have certain things I look for in myself in relation to the part, but he made me do something. I don't know whether you teach it. It's called personalization. Elaine Aiken teaches it, and Bobby De Niro uses it. You go to a party with Bobby De Niro, and it's like he isn't there. If he's here tonight, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. He just absorbs like a sponge everything. Once he brought a rock group to my house and stayed and watched them for 2 hours and then disappeared, and he just left them there. I don't know. You know, I hoped he was going to come back and get him. I think one slept on the couch. I don't know. But he doesn't use them. I think the most powerful weapon, and I'll tell you why later, and I call it a weapon, that an actor has is effective memory. When it's controlled and you know what you're doing, we'll talk about it later. But Kubrick made me remember a woman, kind of pseudo-intellectual lady I knew from Queens, and I didn't know I had remembered so much about her. And that's called personalization. Even the way I moved my hands and feet and how I dressed, I had stored all this. That's what's so great about being an actor. I was once in a terrible fight with Tony Franciosa. I thought we were going to kill each other. And right in the middle, I said, this could be useful in the second. He said, yes. We were doing Hatful of Rain. He said, yeah, when Polo is supposed to, and we forgot what the fight was about. And we took notes to remember how it was affecting us physically.
How many of you off?
I studied with Lawton and Benno Schneider. I never stopped studying. I was very lucky with my directors. George Cukor once made a joke and said, Shelley, I bet if I give you a broom, you'll sweep up the stage. And I said, I certainly will if I can stand near you while you're talking to the actors. George Cukor, Stanley Kubrick, Polanski, who taught me something very special, Robert Wise.
You'd said that in Lolita that Kubrick was able to bring something out of you that you weren't aware of before. How did he do this exactly? Could you explain sort of the process?
In my experience, since I think I project honesty, even if it hurts, he wanted a rather artificial woman, but he read me for it with Nabokov in New York, and I had flashes of this woman I once knew who said Van Gogh, and was sort of made her life around museums, and her whole life was her husband and her child, and she just had this superficial thing. And I did with that part what Elaine calls personalization. I watched her, or I remembered, she wasn't around anymore, how she dressed, how she presented herself as an authority on art. And but while she was so busy with this pretense that she could not protect herself or her child.
My name's Laura Lee.